What's going on, everybody? I am back with a new episode of the Conscious Approach podcast. My name is JV Wins. This is episode number 34 of the Conscious Approach podcast. And I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about hip hop star. I guess she's still a star, I'm not sure. Hip hop star and personality Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea, I guess, in conjunction with promoting new music, decided that it would be a fun activity to put on blast DMs that she was receiving from high profile men over social media. These were all blue check mark profiles. So they were high profile men in various industries, I'm assuming, who sends her DMs on a regular basis, trying to entice her for maybe a minute of her time or whatever the case may be. The point was she was going to put on blast some of the stuff that she gets on a regular basis from high profile men and the lengths that they're willing to go to get her attention. Now, predictably, this caused a tizzy. There was an uproar within the manosphere where they waxed poetically about the problems with modern society and the modern day woman, and some of the problems with this modern day, with the proliferation of this modern day social media sexual marketplace type situation that we have going on. Initially, when I saw it, I thought to myself, hopefully this can be something that can sort of wake men up. I doubt it, because more and more these days I'm becoming cynical that we'll wake up. But hey, a guy can only hope, right? But basically, I have a general philosophy in life. I have several general philosophies in life, but one of the general philosophies in life that I cling to is the notion of follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. What follow the money means is you get to the root to discover what are the causes for a certain type of behavior, and what can you do given your knowledge of the causes of that behavior to offset the problem. Follow the money. You follow the money, you get to the root of the problem, and you address it there. Stop addressing all the ancillary consequences of the problem, and let's get to the root of the behavior that's causing the problem. Follow the money, right? Simple enough. So that's what I thought about with Iggy Azalea's DMs. It's about following the money. I'm getting really sick and tired of hearing men today bitch, moan, and whine about the current state of men and women and how we interact with one another, and the current degradation state of relationships. I'm getting really tired of men complaining about that. And the reason why is because it makes me believe that men simply don't see that they are the source of this problem. They are the source of this problem. The reason why there is a proliferation in the sexual digital marketplace is because men have created a dynamic in which women can seize upon an opportunity that is being afforded to them by men. If you have such a problem with Instagram and Instagram models and these porn sites and things like OnlyFans, TikTok, Snapchat Premium, if you're a guy who finds yourself disillusioned with the state of men and women in relationships because of these various outlets, I propose to you a thought. Stop feeding the beast. Like we need to as men stop feeding the beast. And this includes the blue check marks as well. Because you have a lot of these high profile guys out here, whether they're celebrities and entertainers, they might have money and resources, but they are sorely lacking in social skills, sorely lacking. They exhibit very much so blue pill, beta male human characteristics as men. And money and resources don't change that. They don't change what is in your character, what is in your nature in terms of what you give off from a social perspective. Follow the money. You get to the root. The only way that things like OnlyFans and Snapchat and TikTok and all of these things that men complain about, the only way that these things are ever going to stop is if men stop feeding the beast, stop capitulating to behaviors that allow these outlets to become proliferated. Me as a builder, as someone who has educated myself, I work hard. Furthermore, I work hard to acquire the money that I earn. And someone who has a relative perspective on my self-esteem and my, self-confidence, given my valuation juxtaposed to my success and what I have achieved in life, I, for the life of me, could never, ever foresee a situation in which I am spending money on OnlyFans to look at another woman in a G-string bikini or in lingerie. I am going to go out into the world and I am going to seek a woman who likes to wear G-string bikinis and lingerie for myself in person. That is sort of a principle that I am guided by when it comes to, you know, meeting women in general or gaining the attention or favor of women. I can't for the life of me understand why men are on OnlyFans spending money. I will never, for a single solitary second, pay money to watch a woman put lotion on her feet, to watch a woman wear sexy outfits, to watch a woman have sex with another man. No, no, no. I'm going to go out into the world and I'm going to seek to acquire those things for myself. But see, the problem is we have at this point an entire legion of men with low self-esteem, no confidence, and no sort of with it, just no self-esteem, no self-confidence, and very poor social skills. And all of those things mixed together create a cauldron of men who have an inability to take inventory on the relative valuation of where they are in life and act accordingly. So because of this, they relent and they decide I'm going to spend money on Pornhub Premium, or I am going to spend endless nights viewing porn at night, or I am going to try to get the attention of women on Instagram because that's the only outlet that I have to actually meet these women in any context, or I am going to pay a woman out of my hard-earned pocket to watch her get intimate with another guy on OnlyFans. I don't understand it. For the life of me, I don't get it, but I guess I'm just not built that way, so I can't relate. But what I can say is, based on a lot of the things that I'm encountering out here in the world, listening to other men complain about this stuff, um, whether I'm online, there are other content creators, whether it's on YouTube or social media in general, there is a general discussion taking place with men who have a problem with this particular aspect of modern society. And I retort, if you have a problem with that, do something about it. Recognize that as men, we are the gatekeepers. We are the source of the behavior. And that behavior is not going to cease until we stop feeding the beast, stop supporting it monetarily. About 2 to 3 years ago, when I was more heavy on Instagram than I am now, before I woke up, I was one of those dudes whose feeds was just filled with pictures of models and chicks posing in sexy outfits and things of that nature, because the visual high that I received from looking at those videos satiated me from time to time when I was in a drought and didn't have an outlet for that in person. And at a certain point, I realized I am contributing to this madness. I am contributing to the problem with this thirst machine by following these chicks' photos and occasionally liking some of these photos. So what did I do? I silently protested by doing my part to unfollow all of those profiles. We have to stop feeding the beast. Think of it this way. Imagine that tonight we went to bed and tomorrow we woke up in a parallel universe. And in this parallel universe, men all over the world universally decided, I am going to get off OnlyFans. I'm going to get off Snapchat Premium. I am going to get off TikTok. I am going to get off Pornhub Premium. I am going to get off of these platforms. I'm going to stop spending my money on these platforms. And I am going to take inventory of the relative valuation of my self-esteem and my social skills juxtaposed to my achievements and what I have accomplished in life. And I'm going to use that knowledge to go out into the world and seek to meet women off of the merit of my own social skills and not relent to spending money on OnlyFans and these various other platforms. Let's imagine that in this parallel universe, this actually took place. And men all over the world universally decided to commit to this habit, to this behavior. I ask you, at that point, what happens to OnlyFans? What happens to Snapchat? What happens to the porn industry at large? What happens to any of these outlets that women go to as a source to gain social and monetary notoriety, so to speak, off of the sake of their existence and their physical appearance alone? What happens to the viability of those platforms if men universally decide, I'm off this narcotic? What happens? I'll answer the question for you. They'll cease to exist, or at least they'll cease to be viable in their present form, and they will have to take on a new form. Perhaps at that point, everybody will get on these platforms because people will see that the way to make use of them and to leverage them best is to, use them to leverage other methods for us to contribute to society in more meaningful ways, as opposed to women being able to benefit off of the backs of low self-esteem, low social skills, no self-confidence having men who are willing to spend their money on these platforms because they can't get the attention of these women in person on their own merit. We as men are the gatekeepers for a lot of this stuff. And I'm tired of hearing men complain about the current state of the sexual marketplace and the whole sexual game, men and women, social media, all of this. I'm tired of hearing y'all complain about it because it's your brethren that's ruining it for the rest of us. If enough of us got off of these platforms and stopped spending our time and money on them, things would be a whole lot different. There would be more balance in the force. But we can't commit to that universally, so these problems are going to persist. And as long as they persist, we really need to stop bitching about it because they're not going to stop. Follow the money, guys. Just follow the money. It's that simple. It's like in the Matrix, right? Those characters in the Matrix, they spend all their time fighting the little sentry drones and fighting the agents, jumping in and out of the Matrix, trying to save people by unplugging them. Meanwhile, they're still getting attacked on a daily basis by the machines because they're not going to the source to try and destroy the machine core to get the machines to stop attacking them. Once they got Neo, once they found the one, they realized, okay, we can unplug people and fight agents and sentry drones all day, but until we get to the machine city and fight the source, none of this is going to stop. It's the same thing with us. We can complain about women all day, but you have to realize that this problem has been exacerbated by behavior that you have capitulated to as a man. So the only way to get it to stop is for us to go to the source. That source being, get off the platforms. Stop spending your money on it. Now, unless you're willing to pose to me that these platforms are actually being monetarily supported by more women than we know or more women than men, then my entire argument is null and void. But you and I both know that that's not correct. You and I both know that it is mostly men who are spending their hard-earned dollars on this crap. Okay, there might be some women here or there who are doing it, but by and large, there are men. These platforms, these outlets, DMing chicks on Instagram, this whole IG model, fitness model, flying chicks out. This is all being supported by men. Women are merely seizing upon an opportunity for gains that they are recognizing. The door is being opened by men, and unless men shut the door, none of this is going to stop. And y'all dudes need to realize that because we're losing out here because of you, your behaviors and your actions and your weaknesses. And you need to be able to recognize that and stop capitulating to the behavior. All right? It's very simple. Basic principle of supply and demand. Supply and demand is a basic principle of economics, which states that the supply for something will always remain steady and high so long as there is a demand for it. So if there is a demand by men to continue to spend money on OnlyFans and Pornhub and TikTok and Snapchat Premium and all of this stuff, as long as there is a demand on our behalf to continue to feed this beast, there will always be an ample supply of women to take advantage of the opportunity. If you want to cut off the supply, cut off the demand. If no one is asking for it, there will not be a perceived service to provide it. No one wants it. I'm not going to make a product that no one is asking for. So if we don't ask for it, it won't be provided. That's what this is going to take. But we need to wake up. And until we wake up, Iggy Azalea and women like this who are putting, dudes on blast for the DMs that men send them on a regular basis. None of this is going to stop. So there's really no need in bitching about it because you're creating the problem. We as men are creating the problem. I understand that there's levels to this. So regardless of the fact, a man who makes $500,000 annually is always going to have access to women that a guy who makes $50,000 a year annually doesn't have access to. That is called life. That is an inherent inequity in life, and we just have to deal with that. As the great Stephen A. Smith says, fair is a place where they judge pigs. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as fairness when it comes to the dating game, when it comes to the sexual marketplace, if you will. You pay the cost to be the boss. And if I make $1 million a year, I'm going to have access to women that a guy making $50,000 a year simply doesn't have access to. Be a man and take on the challenge of trying to become a man who makes $1 million a year. That's my suggestion to you if you have a problem with that inherent inequity. But overall, I refuse to believe that a man who makes $50,000, $60,000 a year has no value or no worth. I refuse to believe that. And much respect to guys like Kevin Samuels, because for the most part, I agree with the model that is what constitutes the high value man. I think that the criterion is like, making six figures for a sustained period of time. It's like 3 or 4 or 5 years in a row, something like that, and having a network of other men who do the same thing. Generally speaking, I understand the criterion inherent in what constitutes a high value man. But that doesn't mean that a man making $50,000 a year doesn't have value and that he is sort of disqualified from being able to acquire the attention of attractive women. It's just that things are so far off balance because of the proliferation of the sexual marketplace, particularly in the digital realm. And none of that is going to correct itself until men decide that they are not going to capitulate to the behavior that allows it to persist. So this is all on us. It's got to stop. The buck stops here with us. And until we realize that, none of this is going to stop. So we really need to stop bitch moaning and whining, stop complaining about it, and take inventory of the relative valuation of yourself. Okay. Work on your social skills. Okay. Because a lot of y'all got poor social skills. And when you mix poor social skills with low self-esteem and no self-confidence, this is what you have. Guys who are willing to pay $30, $40, $50 to a chick on OnlyFans just to watch her rub her feet with lotion. Like, this is crazy. It's craziness. But I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit here and blame the women. It's not really them. They are simply playing the role that they've been given. They're taking advantage of an opportunity. If you don't want them to have that opportunity anymore, stop committing to behaviors that affords them that opportunity. It's simple. Get off Pornhub, get off Snapchat Premium, TikTok, stop DMing women. Stop. Just stop doing it. Stop doing it. Go out into the world and do it on your own muscle. And for anybody who says, well, these were blue check marks who were DMing Iggy Azalea, so this doesn't really apply to the rest of the real world, because these are those famous guys who are doing it. We can't necessarily compete with what they're doing. They have resources that we don't have. I completely disagree with that because this dynamic is having a trickle-down effect throughout the rest of the community. Now you got a girl who might be 3 doors down from you in your apartment complex who doesn't have the time of day for you because she's getting DM'd by blue check marks because of how she looks and how on point her Instagram game is. This adversely affects you as the hardworking Joe out here who wants to get the attention of that same girl, but now she's going to ignore you because she's getting DM'd by blue check marks. So the point is, everybody needs to stop committing to this behavior because it's having a universal effect on everybody from all economic brackets, races, social classes, creeds. It doesn't matter. It is having a trickle-down effect on the rest of the community. You got girls in college who are sophomores, juniors, and seniors in college who feel like they have nothing to offer a guy who's in their peer group because they'd rather talk to the Major League Baseball player who's DMing them on Instagram. And more power to the Major League Baseball player who's DMing the college girl on Instagram. But ladies, you need to understand that that guy is a beta with low self-esteem and no self-confidence and low social skills. Because if he had his wits about him as an MLB player, he'd be out in his local city. He'll be out in his local city meeting women like you instead of DMing you on Instagram. But be that as it may, the point is you go to the source. Follow the money. Follow the money. Right now, we're traveling through those tunnels, fighting sentry drones, and we're not understanding what we need to do to get to the machine city to stop the machines from attacking us all in general. Like, this is a problem. And it's a problem that men created for themselves. It is. Get off your ass, get off of these platforms, shut your accounts down, stop DMing chicks on Instagram. If you ask me, you need to stop following Instagram models, period. Unfollow all of them. Don't like their photos. Stop doing it. Okay? Take inventory of the relative valuation of where you stand, your social skills, your self-esteem, juxtaposed to what you've achieved in life. If you feel as though you need to achieve more in order to meet certain criterion, then work hard. Strap up your boots. Do something about it. But stop sitting there spending money on OnlyFans. You're killing yourself. And you're killing the rest of us while you're at it. A lot of you guys are weak and you need to boss up. You need to tighten up. Because this is a problem that we've created as men. And until we realize that, none of this is going to stop. So that's pretty much all I had to say, with respect to Iggy Azalea and her putting these blue check marks on blast with these DMs. We tend to worship these athletes and these entertainers and these blue check mark people. But y'all need to realize, okay, these guys might have money and resources, but they have very poor social skills. Very poor. And you can surmise something about a man's character based on his behavior. And if a grown man with money and resources is going to, gain the attention of the lion's share of the women who are in his cipher via the use of social media, he's probably somebody with poor social skills at best. Because someone with the right amount of social skills is going to be out in the world seeking to acquire that for himself in person. That's the way it's supposed to be done. I don't give a shit how much more powerful social media becomes. The tried and true way of getting it on your own method by the weight of your social skills will never cease to be a palpable resource for meeting women. So that's pretty much it. But if you like the commentary on this video, be sure to check me out on the website, consciousapproach.com. You can follow me on Instagram at JVWins. You can find me on Twitter, search JVWins. I'm also on Facebook, JAVISOGDEN. If you like the commentary in this video, please hit the share button on Facebook. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I certainly appreciate it. Men, stop complaining about people like Iggy Azalea and all of these other chicks because they're just playing the role that they've been given by you. And if you wanted to stop giving them the role. That's it. Go to the source. That's all I got to say, man. Hopefully this message resonates with somebody, but if not, I'll be back with another video in short order. So it is what it is. But until next time, man, that's another Conscious Approach video in the books. I am JV Wins, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace.